Or a bunch of us nerdy ass streamers get together and play some role playing games, have fun, and entertain you folks. My name is Dreadpart Reynolds, and let me introduce these wonderful people to you. Let's start with Xelray.
Hello, I'm Will, otherwise known as Xelray. I'm a variety streamer on Twitch, just getting back into the groove of things the last month or so after a long hiatus. Soon enough, I think I'm going to be playing newer games. Maybe something along the lines of No Man's Sky, since my computer shouldn't die every time it tries it now.
You got anything else coming up for you?
Nothing planned. It's just kind of on whim right now.
Okay, so where would they check out where your scheduling is going to be?
It'll be on my Twitch stream here as its background in the next day or two, the updated stream schedule.
Okay. Kev.
Hello. I'm Hand of Soul. I'm new to streaming and my channel's still under construction, so look for it in the future, but I'm excited to be here and it's a lot of fun. Thanks.
Where can they find you if they were looking to keep track of all that?
You can find me at. I mean, my channel will have announcements coming up in the next few weeks. Over and Soul is the channel. You can also find me on Twitter, which would be Kevin Gable 9 at Twitter. Beyond that, just look for some announcements coming up in a few weeks.
All right. And Crow.
Hello, I'm Crow People. Otherwise, Twitter would be Crow People TV. Words are hard today, so go with me on that. Apparently, I am a everything streamer, but currently, somebody, Dread, is making me play Persona 5 Royale. Thanks to his 100,000 channel point hand in, I must play the game to completion. And I'm also doing another one of Final Fantasy IX. Yes, Siva, I'm getting back to it. I will do Persona 5 first, though. I will alternate my days, but my schedule is !schedule on my actual channel. Otherwise, pop into my Discord, which you can find that also !Discord on my channel.
All right. And I am Dread Pirate Reynolds. You can find me over on Twitch TV/Dread Pirate Reynolds and over on Twitter at Dread Pirate Ray, because you can't fit Reynolds on there once you fit the rest of that in there. Right now, my channel's on hiatus while I'm running these games for these lovely people. But every Wednesday when I'm not doing this, we have a fun game where we get together, do voiceovers over different video games, and just have a general fuck around. We call it the Chuckle Fucks. If you want to see these lovely people and some other lovely people over there when this is not going on, please make sure you follow me over there at twitch.tv/Dread Pirate Reynolds. With that out of the way, let me start with a warning. Hunter the Reckoning is a mature game with mature themes, and if at some point you feel like you are upset and need to step away, please do so. Your mental well-being is more important than supporting us. Also, the people and characters in this game are not good people. They are flawed individuals who make questionable decisions. Please do not emulate any actions or decisions made during this chronicle. With that being said, let's start the final part of Sanguine Stories, The Lonely Hunt. The scene opens up in a open field. You arrive to a scene when with a single car, a town car, with an individual who is not anyone any of you recognize, standing next to it. Guys.
Okay.
Get out of the car.
I'm waiting
Take
for
a
those
look
two
around
guys
and
to leave.
As you get out of the car, there is an individual dressed in sort of a chauffeur's outfit, standing next to the town car.
Is this the town car we found last night?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, ain't this a surprise?
I exit the car after those two guys left the car.
I'll walk closer to the chauffeur and say, "Good day to you."
You've been expected. Please. And he opens up the back door for you. No, you're not there right now.
Sure is a nice town car. I'm gonna get in, sit down, get comfortable, and put a seatbelt on.
I'll
No hesitation either.
Yeah.
And a small smile.
Now, David stays in the car. Right? He doesn't come
yes.
in?
No,
Okay.
no. He will stay with the car.
I am
I'll,
approaching the car at this point.
follow along with Joseph, hop in since we're already into the situation.
After some breathing, I approach and I get in right behind, trying to catch up with Eddie
Sure.
going into the car.
And as you get into the car, he closes the back door and gets in the front, and the door is locked. Car pulls away, and you're left with your thoughts for a good bit. Is there any conversation that happens?
Smells
This
like
is-
gas. It's because I just crapped myself. Okay, just so you guys know.
That's
I don't know
okay.
if you could tell, but I am not. I just ate a hot pepper. That's what my character's going through right now.
It was
Hey,
nice enough
Stanley.
for them to send a car.
Yeah, so we get no advantage from the situation. No idea where we're going. I'm gonna have any people around it. Maybe
We're going to
cameras.
meet the individual that texts your phone, are we not?
Yeah, no, we are a phone that no one's supposed to know about. Or have
And
or have any
how was
information about,
that
or know I have.
text sent? Who was it signed by again?
MD.
Gives us
Doesn't know
good
an
proof of
MD.
who it might be, Stanley.
You will, however, notice that at one part of the back seat has been teared the fuck apart.
Some afternoons are more unfortunate than others.
I'm not okay with how calm you are about this whole thing right now. No, I wouldn't. I can't think about who an MD. I know a bunch of doctors, yes, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't even come up with anything quick and witty about a movie star's name, MD. Michael
I mean, you could
Jackson?
think of a whole bunch of doctors, couldn't you?
Yeah, but they wouldn't put their name as MD. They would be their name something MD.
I'll remind you, in case you forgot, you do know an individual with the.
I'm
With
panicking at the moment. And also, I don't know.
Yes, no, I'm saying Stanley does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I roll
Matthias
something to see if he
Delasangre.
remembers that? Like he calms down for a second and
And it's one of the individuals you were investigating.
okay. So after a couple seconds of stuttering, he thinks of a name Matthias, spews it out of his mouth because he doesn't remember anything about the name, at least at the moment, but he does know it's not a good name. It's not a good name. And it makes a lot of
Especially since
sense why this name.
it was in relation to the investigation of the body.
It's all flooding back at this point. Anything he might, like, he's just regurgitating all of this. Like, Jesus, God, it's that makes sense why he would know my name. It's Matthias. It's everything's around this character. He probably knows we've been hunting him this whole time. I'm gonna end up like this seat.
Not quite hunting him. We're investigating the murder that happened, but still.
Well, that's our perception. We're talking about someone who can get this phone. He probably thinks that we're hunting him. We're trying to get him.
If he
If he
knew a
thought-
secret phone number that nobody else could have known, I'm pretty sure he knows what we are and are not doing by this point. It's
And if he
reasonable
did-
to assume he would know if we were hunting him or not.
Well, this is the confidence thing. This is
If we
him
were
showing
hunting
us our
him, we
cards,
would probably have not gotten in this car either.
playing with us for food at this point.
And about
Okay, so what-
it's about a half hour, unless there's anything like really important to say, before you
No.
arrive. And you step out in front of a warehouse.
I will leave. Well, I would guess I would have to leave first. It's a town car, right? I'd have
Yeah.
to get out of the car.
He
Yeah.
opens the back door for you.
I realized my mistake of not entering the car first. So now I have to leave first. But the camera comes out blatant and obvious flies up, and I just turn around, look down right at my phone.
The chauffeur looks fucking like surprised when this fucking like 4-inch drone like flies right in front of his face.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
And like reaches for something in his pocket where as it goes out.
Reading. I'm looking for anything that the heat thing is picking up. Obviously first, and it would switch to night vision later, but we'll get to that.
Is it a nondescript warehouse? No signs, no...
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be in operation. There are lights on inside, but it's not like there's a company name on the outside or anything like that.
I'm going to start walking toward the door.
Before Eddie gets too far from the town car, he's going to peer to see if he can grab his whistle, if it's still there.
Where are you looking?
It's on the back bumper underneath.
Yeah, it seems to be there.
Okay. I'll leave it there for now. I'll do a short whistle though once I'm out, and just letting the trailing bird know to search around.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow. I'll follow in the back, switching. Anything I noticed on the heat when I left the car?
No heat signatures show up.
Yeah, he's gonna switch to night vision and just like he's playing
How far
like a
radius
kid playing his
are
phone.
you looking?
I still want to be within. However far the camera will be allowed to go, but it's not going to go farther than like 10 feet.
I would
from
say
me.
you wouldn't have, since it's such a small,
yeah,
and remote thing. I'm gonna say you need to have it within at least, at least 500 feet of you.
Okay, for the Bluetooth and going back
Yeah.
and forth. It's still going to be within 10 feet of me.
And going towards the edges, you're going to lose information.
Yeah. Right now, it's just going to stay within 10 feet of me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't carry knives or stabbing weapons or guns.
And as you guys enter into the building, you notice an individual waiting right in the center of the room. He's well dressed in a, unlike usual, he's in a full suit, wearing a black shirt and a white tie. And seems to be unshaken by your arrival.
Well, I must admit, I do like the color scheme of your outfit. It is quite a nice suit.
He'd be twitching like he's. I'm saying this in my head. He's complimenting his clothes. I can see the reflective eyes. For God's sakes, he's complimenting this thing.
Reflective eyes. What the fuck you think he is?
The night vision.
I'm Joseph Armstrong.
On stream.
I'm a priest.
Wait. Docs, you were muted on stream. You got to start that over. I don't know. It's not dogs? Who's muted then?
Here, Docs, just say something real quick. No, I didn't hear it on stream.
What about now?
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, my mic was muted on the Twitch studio, but it wasn't muted in Discord. Okay. That was weird. Anyway, I'll redo that. So, after a heartbeat of silence stops, Matthias will look at him and go, "Gentlemen, stop me if you heard this one. A priest, a hacker, and a soldier walk into a warehouse in the middle of the night. By the way, I'm Matthias del Sangre. It's a pleasure to meet you, gentlemen. Please, feel free to introduce yourselves."
Senor de Sangre, don't you sound familiar?
Maybe.
My name is Eddie, as you probably already figured that out from all the information. Yet, I'll give you one extra thing. My name is Hidalgo, Hugo. Come here to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Hugo. You have an interesting last name.
My name is Joseph Armstrong. Thank you much for the ride you sent. It is quite a nice car. It was a nice, gentle ride. It was a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
It has had some mistreatment here recently, which I soon will rectify. But I appreciate your courtesy, Mr. Armstrong. You are
Manners are pretty important.
you're a person of interest. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And you,
hi.
jittery one.
Name's Stanley Jobson.
Stanley, why are you so nervous right now?
History can repeat itself.
I'm unaware of this history that is doomed to repeat itself.
The one that makes it. I'm also generally not comfortable in social situations and having no ability to know where I am, lack of knowledge. I just don't, like not knowing. Just don't.
You and I
And
are kindred spirits.
Before the individual goes any further, he takes out his cell phone and takes a picture of each of you.
Just for records. But Stanley, I must admit that we are a kindred spirit in that information is key.
I'm
And
not
that's what
fazed by the camera thing at all.
That's what I have brought you here for. I am interested in information. So, I will tell you this. You each have a unique set of skills and are individuals who have piqued my interest. And I'm curious to know what it is that you know.
You might have to be a little more specific. I know quite a bit of things.
Okay, fair
We could
enough.
go by subject. What do I know about what is going on around here? Little,
Sure.
but I am very interested. As though there is somebody here I am very interested in.
And that would be?
Somebody traveling with the Deathridge Tabernacle Choir?
Interesting. So you are interested in the Death Ridges?
One of them specifically, yes.
And why would that be, I wonder?
They are of great importance to me.
How so?
You could say we are related.
Interesting. Relations are interesting. Would you not say so, Eddie?
Yes, and this fact, that's exactly that's exactly why I'm here. Is because much of my family has talked about you in the shadows, all the way from Spain.
Yes. I would assume they have. Do you know why they have?
No one speaks of such. It might be because you're a little bit too old for even my grandfathers who are alive, but either you did something or you caused something to us, and we're paying the price every day.
You can assure you it was not me. I think I know the incident you speak of,
Well,
but
it's
it
never
was not my
you.
doing. You're speaking of
No,
individuals who have threatened our family and put hardship upon them, yes?
Oh, absolutely.
You see, that was not my doing.
By the way, Eddie, you will notice he said our family.
Yeah, I'm kind of cocked head at it. However, if you did not cause this, and mind you, even my own mother was killed under your name, then who did cause this? And is there a solution?
There is a solution, and I am sorry for your loss. Your mother was a innocent bystander. If we're discussing the same incident, I can tell you this. The gentleman that was dispatched to our family were hired thugs from corrupt government who wanted to use my organization to manipulate and wound innocent families such as ours further. When I refused the request, they tried to come for me, and your mother, unfortunately, was in the crossfire. To that I apologize. But I have spent many hours of time dedicated to tracking down those in charge. And it's part of the reason I wanted to bring you here tonight. I wanted to offer you an opportunity.
Your phone buzzes. Matthias.
I'll make a quick check at it.
he's looking down. I'm going to check my phone. Put a couple simple commands in there.
So,
Okay. Text me message me what you're doing.
so, would you like to hear my proposal, Eddie?
In this case, yes, I would. Now, I will say that even though we're on two sides of this coin, per se, I'm not here to take you or mainly any other of the vampires out for what we're investigating, which I think that you might know that as well currently.
I had assumed that you were dispatched to investigate a few of the ongoings in St. Louis, but as a precaution, I figured I would meet the three of you to see exactly where we all stood. But the matter at hand, Eddie, is I will address my apologies. I will address the rest of you, but I feel this is something I should deal with impromptu. So, Eddie, my offer is this: come work for me, and we'll give you the tools and the information you need to seek vengeance on those that have harmed us.
Eddie cracks a sly smile. Vengeance has been his life since 15 years ago when he was introduced to the world of darkness. Ah, well, in that case, I think that fits right up my alley. I'll do just that then. Let's hear what you have to say.
Good. My proposal is this: you come work for me as a field operator and commander of a unit dedicated to taking down those that have A, harmed us, and B, who seeks to further harm us. In this, you will be provided equipment, information, and manpower at your discretion. In exchange, if things should come our way, you act as my lead operator in dealing with such threats. You have an opportunity to redeem our family name and punish those who have harmed us.
That is the third time he has now referred to you as family.
So, Matthias,
I,
I'm assuming that your name is a little bit different from what you're saying, or your first or your last, because you keep on saying family, as I am yours. I will accept this offer, but I want a third contingency.
I'm open
And
to
it's not
this.
much. Yet, my whole life has been revolving around fixing our family, as you say, our family. Secondly, anyone who reveals themselves and distracts humanity from just humanity without understanding the repercussions, and this goes for the Fae, the Goro, the blanks as yourself, I'd like to also take them out.
I'm not opposed to this, but we must review each opportunity as they come. Blanket carte blanche to act would be irresponsible, but I am willing to hear out perspective operations that you want to bring to the table.
It sounds like it could operate just fine for now, and I'll continue working under that idea, even as a hunter. I mainly just don't want to see involvement with humanity as drastic as it has been in the past decade.
I don't either, that's why I do what I do. There are monsters in the dark. Cruel, uncaring individuals who only care for themselves. This disturbs me.
He chuckles to himself.
You find this interesting, Stanley?
It would never be you. You would never
do you
get
mean?
your hands dirty. You have so much power, so much pull, so much everything everywhere. You don't need to even say. You can take a look, a glance, and someone will fall on a sword for you if it meant to please you.
Pleasing me is not the key to that which you describe. It is the willingness to be on the front lines and do what you ask your people to do yourself. Is to put yourself at risk, like I have done this evening. As you know, you've taken great strides to prevent the monsters in the dark from hurting humanity, haven't you?
Again, hurting
you-
humanity again.
By the way, did you check your messages?
I did.
Matthias?
I did. Stanley, the things you have done intrigue me. Your skills, your talents are something that I would like to bring in house, so to speak, so that you can continue to do what you want to do or what you wish to do in protecting those from the monsters in the dark.
Okay.
Now, I want to know what it would mean to you. What do you want out of this? If you join, what can I give you? As I have provided any opportunity, what is it I can provide for you?
My family back.
Unfortunately, I cannot.
And I
bring
turn
your
around
family.
and start walking away.
What did you say?
I turn around and start walking away.
I would think twice before you leave, Swordfish.
It's Clove. Have a nice life. Whatever underlife that you have.
There are things that are on your trail that I can save you from. I can provide protection, opportunity.
He doesn't leave, obviously. He's standing there contemplating. I'll listen.
That's all I ask. I ask that you continue to do what you do, but you do it under my umbrella. Looking out for those who cannot look out for themselves. And like Eddie, you bring things to me, and if it fits our mutual agenda, we work together. It wouldn't be It wouldn't be too much of a compromise now, would it?
I will continue listening once I hear what your offer is for the priest.
Depends. Joseph, you said you have
Good evening.
interest. What is your thoughts on what has been discussed so far?
Plainly, I think they would be foolish not to take your offer. For two reasons. One, you have exhibited exemplary manners tonight. That is rare. That's a good foundation to start on. And number two, he is not telling y'all a bad story about helping protect from certain things. Stanley, if you are having a crisis of faith about who you are working with, understand the powers on my side of the fence aren't as clean and clear cut as they pretend to be.
In his head, he's going like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, do I know that? Oh, wow."
Oh, you have no idea. It is not one organization, but many. It is not one country, but many. And what do you think they are really racing for?
Power, control, some semblance of order for their individuals and their help and their associates.
And Joseph turns and looks at Matthias. And from my understanding, some of y'all have gifts. Now, I am not here to question the motives of some of the larger organizations hunting y'all, but I seriously doubt it's for humanity.
There are many pieces in play. Motives, agendas, shifting loyalties. What I try to do is I try to make sense of the madness. I try to provide services to those who are worthy of them, that are underserved and underrepresented. I make it a habit to deal with people as individuals, because I feel that the relationships are often more important than agendas. And you mentioned
Agendas are messy.
you mentioned that you're interested in the Deathridges, one in particular. Could
Yes,
that be Jubilant Deathridge, perchance?
yes.
Why the interest?
It has been some time since I have seen her.
You, are a lost love? Or is there something more going on that I should be aware of?
I am her brother.
Interesting. And you wish to be reunited? Or a reconciliation?
I have been looking for her for about 15 years.
To what end? Say I was able to facilitate a reunion. To what end would it be?
Well, now that is interesting. I am not interested in walking away from this situation without seeing my sister and getting to spend a significant portion of my life with her in my life again. That is negotiable.
How do you think your sister would feel about this? Would she be accepting of you being in her life again?
I don't know. She didn't recognize me the last time she saw me.
Are you sure?
I looked straight at her. Of course, I do look older now than I should.
I do find that interesting. A gentleman of your age, or your youth, seems a little weathered. I wonder why that is.
It has taken me some time to try and figure out, but I have my suspicions.
Interesting.
I was given a gift. And this gift came from, we'll call him my mentor, the one who taught me. This gift had unintended consequences that I was not told of. It's funny how that works. How much you're not told in this job.
You speak of Father Witherspoon, do you not?
You know him.
I know of him, yes.
Agendas are messy.
I find it intriguing that someone of your background would fall under the tutelage of men such as him.
At first, I thought it was divine direction.
What do you feel now?
Probably just damn dumb luck.
Is it dumb luck that has brought you here? Or do you feel it is something greater?
That is the challenge, huh? It is hard to say. I would like to say God has guided me here, and I'm pretty sure in his way he has. Fact is, when I saw the picture Stanley posted, I saw my sister. So here I am.
So if I was able to provide you a reunion, would you be willing to join the organization as I have offered to Eddie and Stanley? A man of your skills and knowledge and background could be of use to me.
I would be willing to join the organization on one condition.
Name it and we'll see what we can do.
It's expensive, but I am willing to pay the price.
You speak expense, but I don't think you are talking of money.
No. I don't wish to work as a subordinate. I would like to join, not as an equal, but as a colleague.
Eddie would not be a subordinate. He would run his own operations. Nor would Stanley. You're associates, not subordinates.
Fair enough. Our organization has broken knowledge, somewhat limited knowledge, but some. How do I put this in plainer ways?
Speak plain. It's always the best.
I have enjoyed the night in the last few years. This hunting job has suited me quite well, especially the longer it has went. It would be nice to stick around in the night for quite some time.
Matthias will cock his head, and there will be this sort of like cat-like amusement that crosses his lips, and he goes, I wonder if you understand what you truly ask.
Oh, I do. I have had a decade to think about it. Now, I don't know if anybody else sitting in the room is catching a priest asking.
Oh, you've
this
never
question.
I
seen
am.
Stanley
Yeah.
calmer in his life.
I'm almost expecting someone to like stick me in the back with something soon.
For me, I've never been calmer in my life.
So let me address you three as a whole. I have offered propositions individually to each of you. I have offered to bring you into my organization as associates, giving you power and agency to do operations that you feel are just and need to be done. I'm okay with this. In return, all I ask is that I am brought aware and you use your skill set to benefit the organization as well as your personal causes overall. This is agreeable, yes?
I'll
I
wait
can
for those
work
two
with
guys
that.
to respond.
I'm sorry, you gotta one at a time. You can't talk at the same time.
I can work with that. One
Very well.
question.
One answer.
How diversified is your organization? As per who's in it? Speaking as a hunter. Am I going to be around people? Am I going to be around more blank bodies?
It depends on the team that you assemble. A roster of assets will be made available to you for you to conduct your operations. If you feel you need to use blank bodies, other individuals of backgrounds, you will have your choice of the roster. I have a very diverse set of assets.
That's all the information I was looking for. Thank you.
Now, what were you going to say, Crow?
I was going to wait for those two guys to say something.
Okay.
I am quite happy.
Cool. Okay. Well, Matthias, I know there's people who are older than you that you still have to answer to. And we'll see
I
how
don't
they
answer
feel.
to anybody but myself.
And he turns around and walks away.
Give him time. This is a hard decision. Joseph, your request of your what is it? Your request is doable, but not by me. But I may
Interesting.
know somebody who can provide you the gift that you ask. Someone that is more suited to what you are capable of.
Intriguing. I am quite interested.
And in given time, I may be able to exactly do what you ask and facilitate said reunion with your family. But I must offer it to her, as well as I have offered it to you. I cannot just be like, "Ta-da, I have a present for you."
I understand that at the end of the day, we are still people and not objects. I do appreciate your candor.
Honesty is the best policy, as I was once told.
I agree.
So, your investigation here in St. Louis. Please feel free to continue, as there is many strange things going on, and having men of your caliber investigate in avenues that I cannot reach is important. We can begin with that, if you like.
That will work. I do have one question. You say your assets are diversified, and I do understand it is a bit premature to ask favors. There was writing on the wall near the area we were looking at that was the site of a ritual. I am not quite familiar with the language, but it is very old.
Yes, it is a language called Enochian, as I am told.
Thank you.
Sure.
You would know
Hmm.
from your biblical studies that Enochian is the language of the first city.
Yes, Enoch.
So, if terms are agreeable, gentlemen, we can formalize this deal, and I will provide you with contact information for me. You are free to proceed in your investigation as you so choose, as long as you keep me involved in the loop, so that I may choose to... No, wrong word, I apologize. So that I may share any information I have with you as well.
That is fair.
Joseph, I will leave you this, as you have asked, and as we have stated this evening that family is important. Your sister as well. She is part of my organization, and I have extended her opportunities that I hope that she takes. For she could be such a great individual with a higher purpose. She just needs to be shown the way. And I hope that
She is.
I can do that for her.
Thank you for telling me she is safe. Her safety is one of my biggest concerns. And
As it
she
mine.
is extremely intelligent. Have you heard her
Fiercely
sing?
so. Unfortunately, I have not, but I have encouraged her to reconnect with that part of her.
She is amazing.
She has proven quite... What is the word I search for? She has proven to be quite the uniquely talented individual. Eddie.
She always was smarter than me.
Eddie, I will give you one thing to cement our partnership. You mentioned my name, and now we're a family. My name is indeed Matthias, but it is not de la Sangre. It is Matthias Alejandro Hidalgo. And I am truly sad what
Alright.
happened to your mother.
After being in the military, I've seen a lot of friends die. I've seen a lot of people pass. I've seen a lot of people pass on my own hand. And my mother, while it was unfortunate, it was when I was away, all I knew that your name was attached to it. With that, my goals are very simple. It's bringing my family back into a type of world where we don't have to worry about moving and paying in black markets and doing everything that we can so we don't get seen by anyone of importance or influence around the greater parts of Spain.
Have you been separated from family that long?
Oh, I mean, the family that I have left is not really the greatest of family. Uncles and grandfathers and great uncles, sure, I keep in touch with them when I can, but my father and his new family, no. But that's all business transaction when it comes to where we are. We're in distress. We're unable to go about our normal business. Everything that we do is endangered, and we're always in the shadows anyways. So it's more of a business family than a real family, since we never had the time to worry about that.
Well, hopefully the skills that you possess and the operational assets you now have will provide you the ability to uplift our family.
I will say this: what is your total composure subterfuge, Matthias?
I believe it is 6 or 7, but let me double check.
If you want to, you can roll your wits intuition to notice any kind of reaction to what you just said. To him, Eddie. Difficulty 6.
You said
What is it again? What's my roll?
Composure subterfuge, Dread?
Yes.
It's 6 total.
So you'd be rolling wits intuition, difficulty 6. We're seeing your sheet, Matthias.
I know, that's fine. I can't avoid it.
You can pop it out.
That would screw everything up, so it's fine. I'm not worried about it.
What the hell is intuition on my page?
It's in skills. It's not intuition. What am I trying to think of?
No.
Insight?
Insight is what I mean.
Okay.
Sorry. It means the same thing to me.
Too many games in your head.
What did I just do? Damn it.
Insight. You do insight, and then you add.
I know. I deleted my insight instead of rolling it. I'm good now.
That's not good.
I remember how many dots it was.
That's why you should lock your dots.
Yeah, I know, but we had to change some stats because we got
Right.
experience. Let's see what we get here. Is it a difficulty roll or is it just an input roll?
It's a difficulty roll, difficulty 6.
Okay, unless I get really lucky on crits, but
It's possible. So no, you don't. He is inscrutable.
on. Oh no, I only got technically 4. If we go, oh no, where's my roll at? There it is.
Right
Never
there
mind.
at the bottom.
It was below. For some reason, I saw the last game's rolls.
Yeah, I tried to scroll up or scroll down, and that's where it was.
Yeah, he's inscrutable. Like looking at a stone wall or a statue.
Well, gentlemen, if terms are agreed, when you leave, my chauffeur, Omar, will take you to where you need to go and provide you the information you need to reach out to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was not sure how you would take this meeting, especially one of my kind.
That is fair. That is fair.
And it's at this moment that another individual appears from the shadows. Coming to the scene now that there is no threat remaining.
I would like to introduce you to another associate of mine. This is Carter Hoyt. I brought him so that he could bear witness to our little meeting here. Carter, please introduce yourself if you would.
As he walks up, he also pretty obviously has a rifle slung to his shoulder.
It is a high-powered sniper rifle.
Yes. Good evening, gentlemen. As Mr. Sangre said, I am Carter.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Glad no one had to die this night.
Well, that is good news.
Carter has worked in my employ for some time now. He is part of my personal cadre and a friend. I had him here to vouch as well as watch over for me. But Carter can speak of my intentions towards you gentlemen. I would hope.
He keeps his word. He'll also lean over to Matthias and just whisper to him, should I go after the hacker?
Matthias, no. He will find his way back to us. What we offer, he cannot find elsewhere. Some people,
Understood.
you give them time. You let them come to their own conclusions. Other people, in the moment, they can seize their destiny when it's offered to them. Stanley will join us. Of this I am confident. He's too useful to us. And with what he's done, he is too vulnerable to not join us.
They will not let him go easily. If he has shared any of that information, I can tell you our organizations are not very kind to losing such assets.
Who said they had to lose them? There's always multiple sides to play.
I like you.
I like you, Joseph.
I can see this is going to be a productive future.
That is my hope. It is in every endeavor I choose to dip my toe into. But as I said, please feel free to speak to Omar. He will get you any contact information you need. He will set you up if you need safe houses, equipment. Provide him what you need, and our organization will get what you need in proper order.
I'm going to nod my head and start heading for the car. and say thank you very much for your manners this evening.
I appreciate you as well. Eddie, before you leave, I feel I should give you a familial contact here in the city. You have a cousin. Her name is Elena. She's a teacher. She knows of me. She would be happy to know that other family is available as well. So, if you're in need to feel home, where you don't have to hide in the shadows or move in darkness, Elena would be a good relationship for you to connect with.
Now, Eddie,
Definitely.
you are not aware of this individual at all.
Well, I mean, that's fair enough. As seeing it's my first time in this country, at least stayed over for more than moments, I think I might look into that. However, as to our original intention of being here, mine was concealed also with the fact that I knew that you were here and working on something. But you know of the investigation that we were looking into. And this is the reason why we originally found what we wanted to find. Joseph, his sister, myself, you. Stanley is still trying to figure this out, and maybe he'll conceal himself and lock himself in the walls that won't always protect him, as he might think, I would assume. Yet how much of a disturbance is this case going to cause?
At this point, with the information that we have uncovered, there's a threat that we are not able to identify yet. There has been a second murder, which we have just recently discovered, and there are some disturbances that we have not been able to place. So it is my worry that there is a much greater threat lurking beneath the surface that has yet to reveal itself, which is part of the reason why I wish to bring you gentlemen in. Your skills, talents, and avenues of investigation are different than mine. I need allies, because what I fear may not be something that I or those I am with are not particularly ready for what may come. And I am worried about the dangers. And bringing gentlemen as such as y'all into the fold gives us another piece to play.
Well, I've talked to many of your wild ones, the ones in the woods and that stay away from, well, it seems like almost anyone they can, society-wise. Very similar to myself. And I've killed quite a few of them too. But what I do know is that if something is going to draw attention to the scene here with everyone of your kind, if something were to be seen more than just what we're investigating, everyone will have to hide in the shadows that is associated with you. And if they don't, they're most likely going to face a righteous fire.
Which is why I am preparing assets to prevent such an outcome.
And with that, I've been in the cities that have been torn asunder of your kind, wiped clean. So, if things do come to the point where that might occur, because this investigation does not get solved, you just said it had to go with old languages and rituals, which I don't know much about. But what I do know is that's prime suspicion for greater figures than just lower grade to medial grade hunters looking into something.
Everybody has a part to play in the coming situation, Eddie. It is often said that a pawn can take a king with the right knowledge and positioning. It is my hope that we are that pawn who can take the king.
True. And while it feels like our side are the pawns most of the times, the difference is we're not on a chessboard. We don't get relegated to the same amount of resources and issues that we had to deal with or you had to deal with. It's just sometimes hiding in the shadows makes life a little bit easier too, as you find after you've done it for so long.
I've lived in the shadows more than a century, so I do know what you speak. And there is power in those shadows, but they must be executed properly, so that
And
we are
those
not
who don't?
exposed.
And those who expose themselves and bring their unrighteousness, their misfortune, or their miscreation upon the world is exactly who causes the issues and exactly who I do my best to get rid of. So, I just want to make that very known to you.
Agreed. We are on the same. Those who...
At that exact moment that you guys say this, Carter pulls up his rifle and takes a shot.
You beat me to it. I was about to say that. Yeah. He pulls up his rifle very quickly, like he's done it 1,000 times, and takes a shot.
Goes
And
through a window to the outside, where a drone is drops to the ground, destroyed.
Thank you, Carter. You've proven yourself
he
invaluable.
he probably still has the recording though.
To be dealt with shortly.
Understood. And then he'll just put the rifle back on his shoulder like it was nothing.
Eddie will pull his dog whistle out and do a call command to himself.
And through one of the windows bursts a giant fucking black wolf.
Carter's got the rifle up immediately because he doesn't fucking know what that is.
I'll reach out and kind of make the motion for Carter to lower the rifle. As I try to...
He'll lower it, but he's not putting it
take
back
it in
on his
stride.
shoulder.
While Eddie was sitting next to Stanley, he has his scent on his arm. He'll put his arm out and let the wolf sniff and say, "Could you bring him back?"
It runs out the window it just broke through.
It appears that you
He's
have,
got a bigger dog than me.
I was going to say, Lola is a bit smaller than her, or Luna.
Oh, dog's name is just Dog.
I know. I was just playing off of what Jubilant called it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You had to give it a name. Is what you said.
Yeah, a bit smaller.
As we wait,
I don't know if that...
we wait in
Yeah.
silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awkward pause.
Like when, never mind. Bad joke. Like right there.
You're not here, Stanley.
I know.
Crow was making.
I think he's...
Did
Yeah,
he
but I
just
think
walk
he is
away as well?
The main
'Cause-
target of the
Yeah.
the current weight, though.
Yeah.
And from this scene, we will pan away to one Stanley, who is currently walking down the road. Stanley?
Well, how far did I make it?
It's been about, I'd say, 20, 30 minutes, and you've just been walking at I don't know if you've been running, you've just been walking at a steady pace.
Maybe 1.5 miles then?
Yeah.
Okay. I hear the gunshot, if it wasn't silenced.
Oh, it's definitely not silenced.
Okay, yeah, definitely hears the gunshot go off. can guess either someone died or something died, and that's fine.
Do you
Whatever.
flinch at all?
There's a flinch. There's obvious flinch. Yeah, he doesn't do
Flinch
well
and
with
turn
guns.
back, or just like
Well, okay. So I'm walking away, and I hear the bang go off. I'm like, and it's just an instinctual like, and I put my hands up like this is going to help me in any way to block a bullet coming in. But he'll look back in that direction. But in the back of its head, it's like someone either died, something died. There might be some more shots, or they got the drone. That's fine. Whatever. And I'll turn around
and
again.
what's going through his head right now?
Backups. It's always more backups.
Contingencies and contingencies.
There's always contingencies. This was a good run, he thinks to himself. Possibly outwardly smiling at some, I'm going to say, Crow People's going to say, some self-deluded illusion that he's done everything he could to get all the information that he could out to as many people as he could. They can't possibly shut it all down. And if he sees a sunlight, he's going to be lucky. It's good. I'm happy to see what I've done. He's really...
By the way, your fail-safes only go into effect if you're not in contact
alive.
with your...
Yes. If I am no
right
longer having a heartbeat.
So.
Yes. No, absolutely. As long as I don't have... If I don't have a heartbeat, specifically, type of thing.
I mean, that's also something that can be jammed. But
yes, like, what was that movie, Dread? Can I get through 100 floors of concrete? Saying. But that's what he feels.
Or cloned or mimicked, it's something that can be, if they're technologically savvy enough, can be mimicked.
Right. That's why Crow People says self-deluded version of him saying, no, it can't possibly all get shut down.
It's about 15 more minutes before you hear a growl. That's all you hear. And it doesn't sound like a dog.
I have nothing on me. I don't panic. You know what? I'm going to do the...
And from behind you,
I'm going to try to light a cigarette.
Black wolf comes around you and faces you.
I'm going to light the last cigarette I had when I quit smoking years and years and years ago. And just like Constantine, just smoke one last cigarette.
Snaps at you. Doesn't bite you. Snaps at you, like close to you. Like if he wanted to, he could.
Oh yeah, he'd be scared back up, but Stanley's just waiting for him to eat him.
Snapping at you and keep snapping at you, so you keep backing up.
After a little bit of me not dying, I'm either going to try to one of two things, depending on what he does next. Attempt to walk around him, which is not going to end
That's
well.
not going to happen. He's not going to let you do that.
Right. Or turn 90 degrees and go in that direction.
90 degrees or 180?
Like parallel to him. Instead of walking through him, he would just take a left.
He's not going to let you go anywhere except for the way you came.
Yeah. It's not going to end. It's not going to end well for Stanley.
So he's just not going to let you do it. Like he'll snap at you when you go that way. He'll snap at you if you go the other way. He'll snap at you if you don't back up.
Yeah, that's fine. He won't turn around because he knows, and he's smiling at him. Like, go ahead. Go ahead. You have your orders, and I have my morals.
You don't know if this is a wolf or one of the blank bodies. You have no idea.
He's assuming the absolute worst. This is one of those, lycanthropy, whatever helicopter.
One of those lycanthropes.
Yeah, he doesn't know the name. Yeah, he doesn't know the name at all, and he'll taunt it and tease it and piss it off.
Oh, you would think of them as mutants,
right? Okay, perfect. Yeah. Outside of the thing physically pushing me or pulling me in that direction, he won't voluntarily turn around. Pain and torture?
You're still being slowly pushed back the way you came, regardless if you want to or not.
Right, and that's fine. He's not going to... You give it a little while, Stanley will just... He's already given up. He will give up and just put his head into it and get snapped at some point. He can't go the whole night with just pushing me back.
Then knock you over and grab you by the back of your shirt and drag you there.
Yeah. Outside of like physical harm or torture, my guy can only take so much mental stress of that, and then he'll cave in. But he's just thinking, I'm dead. The world's got my information. I'm dead. I'm good. So he's gotten that given up. Anybody else play Call of Duty and you get so pissed off that you can't win, you just try to make it to the middle. That's it. I'm going to die. I want to die on my terms. Like that's what he's going through right now.
Okay. Except that nobody's killing you, and you're being dragged to where they want you to be.
Yep.
While we're just like standing there waiting.
No, you're going to get into the car, you guys.
Well, Carter, before we do that, Carter's got to look at them and be like, do y'all call us cold bodies? Like, look very confused about that. Because he's never heard that term. Blank bodies, my bad. He's going to, y'all call us blank bodies?
Well,
that is a term used.
It's one of the more common ones, for sure.
Fair enough.
I mean, you don't come up on mostly anything.
At one point, I put the cigarette out on the thing's hand. Sorry.
Stanley, you're not here.
I know. I just thought of something. Go ahead. Sorry.
Mute yourself, please.
Yes.
But when we were looking through any type of intelligence reading, you're just a corpse, but you're standing, you're moving, and that's it.
Oh, Carter is standing and moving.
And he's also, as far as we know, a corpse.
It's interesting.
I guess that would be how you define a corpse.
It's interesting. I'm curious as we wait for Stanley to return to us. What is the hunter's view on people such as us?
I'll be right back.
Well, that depends on the hunter. The most general, I would say, is fear-based. There are hyper reactions where they are quite angry. Most of those are grounded in fear. Some of our interactions have been quite terrifying. In general, they are not fans.
And also, while you're focused on yourself, we see things that are much different than what you might think. Going on a hunt for a mutant, a Garo, as they speak of themselves, they look almost like my pet. Except they're, twice as large and much faster. And well, I've seen them tear an entire clan of you apart. All of you. 6, 7, gone.
The Garo are troublesome individuals. I've had my dealings with them as well.
So when we look at you, while you are a presence and a threat, it's much easier to relate and to be around. And half the time, if you're doing your job right, we don't know that you're around. And that's how my company likes to keep it. So as long as you don't know anyone knows about you, and it's true, you're doing your job. That's what we want. Because there's no getting rid of you. And for you, there's no getting rid of us. Since you'll perish without us.
You have accentuated the point of my organization to a T, Eddie. There is no us without you or you without us. So I find ways to bring those worlds together for mutual benefit. There are many things that I wish to accomplish that require me to make relationships as I do, to barter and move between camps and factions and loyalties as such. Because I am searching for a much greater view, a much more greater cause than petty squabbles among vampires and werewolves. If I am to complete what I am searching for and working towards, it is my feeling that things will be much better
And
for those who I've chosen to work with.
for interest of time's sake, after a long period of time in conversation, Stanley enters the building reluctantly.
Probably being dragged still. We're thrown over the shoulder. Arms crossed in defiance.
Welcome back, Stanley.
Hello. Come here often.
By the way,
Yes, it
as
is
you
nowhere
were
else.
approaching or being dragged towards the building, you saw the wreckage of your drone.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Just a decoy. It's fine.
Stanley,
Yeah.
I must give you kudos. You are quite a talented individual.
You
What did
have
you hope to
no idea.
accomplish? Oh, I do. I do indeed. I know more than you ever think I could know. I'm well aware of what you did and the information you turned over, which is why I'm interested in you. Appreciate your little maneuver as such. I am not your enemy. I want to be your friend. I want to put your skills to use so that you can better bring justice as you see fit. Why is this such a thing for you to push against?
Not justice. It's not revenge. It's redemption. Like, how am I going to get? How is any of this going to work out for my benefit? How do I? And I'm still on the floor with my foot in a thing's hand. Just no. Yeah. How?
Stanley.
It's not vengeance. It's redemption. You get my family back. You take that kill order back that you sent.
I
He
did
doesn't
not send
know if
no
it was
kill
him or
order.
not. Yeah, it's never you. It's always somebody else.
You're right. And I am working to stop those people. Those people who kill indiscriminately. Those people who feel that they can toy with the lives of others for their benefit. This does not suit what I chose to do, which is why I reached out to you. I may not be able
No,
to
you're
bring
seeing a war start, and you need to be on the top end of it. The reason why I'm still alive is because I'm your winning card. I wouldn't be alive if you had any other option but me.
Trust me, Stanley, I have lots of options. You are somebody who I could see do great things because of your morals, because of your ethics. I don't need to win the war. I need to protect those who can't protect themselves in this coming war.
Stanley's not smiling. I am. You're fucking awesome with Matthias. It's absolutely great. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
And
Stanley,
Stanley,
go ahead, Eddie.
for why you're back, it's simply because if you were recording us and if you were transmitting information, then our heads are on the line too. And as
Yeah,
for
that was the point.
what
The
we're trying
information
to
that I
do
already sent out.
is if we
I'm
don't
sorry,
cooperate.
you have to say that again because nobody could hear you over.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Will.
Go ahead. For if we don't cooperate, we're already dead. And if we do cooperate, we have a chance to make a difference in our own ways for what we want as far as we can. Yet, with more threats at us, we're not going to be able to. Therefore, I brought you back. Not him, not the vampires, not the blank bodies. I did. For Joseph's and I, my own protection. For we're on a mission that you brought us into.
Stanley, You talk of sharing information. Do you even know who you're sharing that information with?
Oh, I've shared both Eddie's and your information that I've picked up before you guys got here, while you guys got here, and what you admitted tonight already out.
That
That
is the
drone
what.
was
I asked you if you knew who you were sharing that information with. That is a different
everybody.
question. Define everybody.
Define everybody. Define everybody. I don't
What do
have
you
IP addresses for everybody on the internet or the servers
who
or
do
the
you
other
think
hackers.
who do you think sits at the head of these organizations that you have been sharing information with? You are sharing information with heads of organizations that are part of clandestine operations between governments and large religious organizations. What do you think they are going to do when you decide you don't want to share any more information, whether you're making a deal here tonight or not?
By the
Where do
way,
you think this ends?
by the way, you get a text message, Crow, from the phone you've been sending out these commands from, saying, "I appreciate the information." And it's signed John.
John? Just for Dred's purpose, it wouldn't have just been to one person,
doesn't
and
matter.
obviously he doesn't know John.
But it doesn't matter. That's the message you get.
Zim. See, Zim, I don't know what you're talking about. That's the best part because Stanley doesn't know who the hell he's talking about.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
You're the one that told them about it. He's the person in charge of the Southern Territory.
Oh, John.
John.
Yeah. You're welcome. With the 2-letter WYW.
Sure.
Yeah. You're welcome. Put it back in my pocket.
And it also
Still on the floor.
It also says, BT Dubs, I'm the only one that got it.
You think. Now, obviously, Stanley is lying to himself about this. Obviously. But maybe on the off chance he could play poker face with this guy, you think you got it all.
Do I see him messing with his phone?
Oh, yeah. He seems...
Eddie, you're going to have to take that away from him.
It's... When he's going to...
you?
Go ahead, Eddie. You can take action if you want.
I would take it, but it is your animal.
I'll whistle at the wolf and say, hold him. Hold him, please. And I'll walk up to Stanley.
Okay.
And out of my duffel bag.
The wolf just starts ragdolling him with his clothes. Like, not actually biting him so that he can't do anything with his hands.
And out of my duffel bag, I'll pull what starts as a tassel, but it's like a very fluffy tassel, and out will pop what Matthias and I'm assuming Carter will recognize as the standard spike, a stake. And I'll walk over.
Matador's fucking.
No. It's a wooden stake. It's a throwing stake.
Okay.
I don't know if they've experienced that or not, but you can just throw it and stun a vampire if you get the right spot. And Eddie will, or Hugo now, will walk over to Stanley, spinning it, say, Stanley, I know you won't want to give that up, but we're going to need it. And simply bop him over the back of the head with it, like hard, as an attempt to knock him out.
Okay. It's going to be stamina dodge versus. Sorry, no. It would be dexterity dodge versus strength athletics or strength melee because you're using it as a melee weapon.
Okay.
And I'm stamina dexterity?
No. It's going to be you're using dodge dexterity versus athletic strength. Trying to dodge is using dodge and
and I'm using melee and strength.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I don't have a dodge on my sheet. What was the other one?
Dodge is on your sheet. You just don't have any points in it, right?
Right. Okay. What's the other one?
Then you're just rolling dexterity.
Oh, that's not any better.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume you're not gonna beat 5 successes. So,
No.
So
Difficulty
you
5.
are knocked out.
Yeah. Bestial failure. Yes.
Yeah. You are. That's a desperation fail.
No, wait. Let me put my head into it. Yeah.
You try to dodge it and actually headbutt the fucking.
Oh,
stage.
Stanley.
And are knocked out cold. You're able to pick up his phone if you wish.
I will search everything on
It is
him.
still unlocked because it was still in his hand.
Yeah, I will take everything else off of him too.
Okay.
Pull whatever I
As
can
you
just in
pull up
case.
his message, you see the message from John and the interaction.
So, does anyone know a John here?
Carter looks at his leg and then starts laughing. That's it.
Well, Matthias, you know.
I do.
So he knows where we are and what we're doing. I don't know what that means for us or if we have to leave, but he knows.
Well, good for us. We are hunters. We can solve this situation.
John,
One question: what territory are we in?
You are currently in the Northern Territory. That's where the warehouse district is, remember?
Yes.
John is a thorn in my side that I have begun to remedy. This just moves him up higher on the priority list. So yes,
He had a fucking alligator eat my leg, by the way. He's not fun.
We should probably disperse for the evening and allow you gentlemen to do as you need to do to further your ends. John is something that we will have to deal with once we have a handle on the things that are currently pressing us.
All right. One last question. Should we take the sleeper or should you?
And we'll take Stanley. We will make sure he is comfortable. I will provide him with some information that may change his outlook. It's been brought to my attention that I do in fact have a lead on his family.
All right.
The one who took them.
Fair. I think that Joseph and I are a little bit more educated about the groundwork compared to him. He seems more background, so that might be better for us.
Very well. Gentlemen, I appreciate your work this evening and your ability to hear me out. I look forward to a very profitable and protective future.
We will be in touch.
We will indeed. Please see Omar. He'll take you where you need to go and get you any information you need to reach me.
Thank you again.
Before they walk out, Carter's gonna say, "Wait, Eddie. Phone."
Sure. You can have it. I have no use for this thing. And I'll hand it over.
Carter will just
Would
take
you like?
it and
I'm assuming I probably have his wallet and everything else too.
Yeah.
Dread. Okay. I'll say you can also have this. He'll be probably wanting it back. I don't know what type of gadgets he has in it. He hands off the wallet too.
Carter will take it and go back to Matthias.
Thank you, Carter. We'll wait for them to leave before I deal with Carter.
Yeah, you have this. The only special thing left on him would be this USB thing.
It looks like a fucking credit card.
It looks like a credit card.
Yeah, Carter doesn't understand technology that much, so he has no fucking clue.
Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie doesn't. Yeah. I'm just like, I have it. Here you go.
That's all you know.
Yeah. Carter could maybe work a smartphone. That's about it.
Actually, no, you don't even have that on you because that was just destroyed.
Oh, right, that was the drone. That was the
Right,
drone.
that was the drone. So this is destroyed.
Awesome.
So once Eddie and them leave, we'll wait for Omar to return. But I want to talk
Yeah.
to Carter.
We're going to follow the hunters for now.
Sure.
In the back of the town car, you're left to your thoughts. Is there any conversation?
Well, Joseph, it seems like we both have our leads. We're in a decent place, and we don't have the weird, buggy, jittery, sweaty man next to us.
I have one loose end I'm going to have to tie. I have an
All right.
assistant who knows we are here in town and that we are doing an investigation, who is going to have to either A, leave thinking we are no longer in play, or I am just going to have to remove him.
Well, then, there could be a few ways about that. I could go back to him, and I could bring something of yours. And I could definitely tear it up in a very interesting way for him.
Take it. This he will believe.
All right. Thank you. As Eddie takes his neck piece.
Oh, I can breathe. Whew. This is going to be an interesting night. I will tell you with David, though, don't take your eye off him. He has skill sets that he doesn't quite share.
Well, at least he's seen me before.
That is why we must deal with him. He has seen us both.
And I think, yes. I'll see how we can do this. If I can leave with my own tale and convince him that yours and Stanley's is gone, that might help for the most part.
He may not choose to tell you. If he thinks I am gone, he probably will just leave and head back to New York.
I also want to back up a little bit and make something known for one individual out loud. Because I didn't get to, I forgot to mention it. It was something I had in the back of my head and I just mentioned it. Right after Stanley had been brought back in and you had that conversation, Avery would have heard footsteps running to a car and a car driving away.
Well, if I would have heard that, and no one else did, he's gonna run outside and try and get a look at the car's license plate.
With heightened senses
and a high-powered
don't have
sniper
it. I
rifle
don't
with a
have-
scope.
again,
Uh-huh.
I don't have it.
He gets the license plate. You can just say that because you know
he
who's
gets
in the
license
car.
plate as he turns around a corner.
Got it. And he'll go back to Matthias and say, "The car just left the area, ran away.
It's a rental.
Here's the license plate."
If you look it up, it's a rental.
That is something we'll have to contend with at a later date.
Yep.
All things in stride, Carter. All things in stride.
So back to that backseat conversation.
David will have to not be an issue anymore. Good luck with that.
Thank you. We'll see what is in store for me.
We then go from that scene back to the warehouse.
Stanley, we put Stanley up where he's comfortable as we wait for Omar to return. Secured him, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, Carter.
And as you awaken, Stanley, you are tied to a chair. in the same warehouse.
And he's instinctively trying, he's been, every time he was nervous, he plays with that thing. It is in a bunch of pieces out there, so he's trying to find something, his hands to rub, like the chair or the arm or
your
something,
arms are
looking around.
like it's like an armchair. So your arms are strapped each one to the chair.
Yeah. Ripping or something. He's trying to calm himself down,
There doesn't
trying
seem
to
to be any
think.
padding on this chair. It's very utilitarian.
His butt hurts now also.
My apologies for your discomfort, Stanley, but I had to make sure you were secure for the remainder of our
Yeah,
conversation.
it's just cause. It's fine.
Stanley, I want to be clear. I have no intentions of getting rid of you, or murdering you, or causing you any harm.
Yeah, I
Well-
wouldn't be that lucky.
Well, you may be lucky. While you were out, I have a lead that may intrigue you.
And he's hearing this like, okay, I'm working for him now. Let's see what he wants me to do first.
I know the person who harmed your family. I can bring them to you.
Person who harmed my family?
I don't like to speak in such vulgar terms, but the man who slaughtered their family. I know who he is. You spoke of redemption,
Yeah.
did you not?
Yeah.
Is redemption not a righteous form of revenge?
You see him agree, but not verbally say that.
Stanley, if you join
Like admitting it to himself.
If you join my organization, Stanley,
To clear it up,
You-
it is not John.
right, you can not only get redemption for yourself, but for many of those who have been taken to task or brought harm, or those who deserve to be checked, as their baser instincts need to be checked. I offer you a chance to do good. I assure you, my intentions are pure. I speak truth. I want to bring protection and justice to those who need it. And you could help me do this. But I want you to do it on your own terms. I do not want to coerce you or force you. That's not my way. That is the way of others. What opportunity do you have that is better than what I offer now?
Not really like I have a choice.
You do. But I wanted to give you a second chance to reconsider. I had an opportunity right now. The information you shared, I would be justified in killing you on the spot. Carter could put a bullet in your head up to a mile away. I could tear you limb from limb, or worse. I could bring you to undeath. I'd chosen none of those. That has to account for something.
I will.
What he says does make a lot of sense.
No, it absolutely does. It's sinking deeper and deeper into his head. So he'll eventually agree and will admit so he can find out everything he can about that night. He never saw it. He never saw the scene of the family. He assumed it was all his fault, but who, what, where, when, how, get something out of it. Because more information that you have, the better it can be later.
Agreed.
Not information is power, but if you know more, you can plan for more. But yeah, I need to know what this information is.
So, if you give me your word, I will have Carter release you from your bonds. When Omar returns, we will take you to where you need to go. You will get the contact information for me, so that you can share your intelligence with me. And I can share the intelligence with you. You are free to operate in any way you see fit. as long as you keep me in the loop of your operations. You pursue your avenue. You pursue the investigation. You bring it to me, and we decide as a team where we go and how we proceed.
Yeah, and in the back, he's saying verbally, yes, head down, admitting his defeat visually. But then also in his head, his internal defeat is whoever this John guy is that I don't have direct contact with, took all the information I sent out, all my backups, everything, if that is true. And what does this guy want with him? Friends? Enemies? Even worse. I can't.
I'm asking if you're saying this out loud, Ted.
No, in my head.
He's running
going
through it in his head.
like I can't win the situation. I can hold all the information I want, but I can't tell anybody. There's no point in that. There's no power without being able to use the knowledge until I can find knowledge I can use. So yeah, the only way forward is to step backwards into this. Fall into my shadow.
So I'll nod to Carter and let him release Stanley as Stanley's kind of processing it.
Carter
Yeah,
will
his hands go down between his knees.
Stanley.
His hands go between his knees. Back pops a little bit. It's not a healthy person. And he's just looking down at his hands, empty, wishing he had his little throne back. All of his plans went up in smoke. Maybe. Only way, and he verbally says that last part out loud, the only way forward is to step back. All right. Let me know what you have.
Stanley, it is not a step back. It is always a step forward. You must look at it that way. You are not stepping back. You are not backsliding. You are moving forward in your quest for knowledge and information. You are stepping forward to defend those who need defense. Please, I hope you view it as such.
And from this scene, it fades to a screen that says 1 month later. And it is a dark room with a single light over a table. And David is sitting at one end, and the interviewer is not seen from the scene. Now now you're telling me all of this happened, and you're the only person that got away. They didn't track you.
Yeah, that's how it went down. There was some stuff that went on, and when it looked like it was getting hairy, I left the scene as I was supposed to.
And you're sure you were not trailed? Nobody found you. Nobody is looking for you.
No, I used the skills that I was trained to use and did the extraction as I was taught.
All right. Well, you're going to need a new cover. We will deal with this when the time is right.
Thank you, sir.
And as you zoom out, as the scene zooms out, it zooms out from this underground room to above in Vatican City. And then the scene goes blank. Thank you for joining us for our extended one-shot
or dose shot
stories, The Lonely Hunt. Next week we'll return with another episode of Heralds and Heresies. But until then, let's introduce our guest stars.
Avery, you first.
Fox, you're muted.
You first, Avery.
Okay.
Anyone who knows me from the vampire game, I am Avery Connors, a variety VTuber. I play whatever the hell I feel like playing that week or that day. I stream almost every day at twitch.tv/Avery Connors, and After this stream is over in about 30 minutes, I'll be starting Middle Earth Shadow of War over on my stream. And you are all welcome to join me.
Docs?
I'm Dux Ryan. You guys all know me. I'm a variety streamer who focuses mainly on indie content, indie games, indie development, all that stuff. I also do a lot of TTRPG stuff, character workshops, system breakdowns, GM questions, all that good stuff. You can find me anywhere at Dux Ryan. Upcoming for me is a couple indie games that were gifted to me. I think there's a horror game called Paper Cut Mansion. That's a horror roguelite that does a papercraft art style, and more of Ghost Song coming up. So that's what I got on tap.
And again, thank you for joining us. I'm Dread Pirate Reynolds. That is Xelray. That is Hand of Soul, Crow People, Avery Connors, and Docs Ryan. And until next week, keep your fangs hidden.